Second down and goal from the 1. Lynch in the backfield. Russell looks, throws inside.
Oh my God, it's picked off at the goal line. It's picked off by Gus Butler.
And the 12s are just as stunned as we are.
This play right here is the moment the Patriots broke the Seahawks. This interception that sealed a Super Bowl 49 didn't just give New England their 4th Lombardi trophy, it shattered the Seahawks dynasty before it even began. For over a decade, that one moment haunted Seattle.
Was that the play that ended the Seattle Seahawks?
Most definitely. And they suffering from still to this day.
So, fast forward to 2026, how do we end up here?
Seattle reigns above them all in the NFL. The Seahawks, Super Bowl champions for the 2nd time.
To understand why the Seahawks' revenge was so sweet, first, you have to understand how devastating the fall really was. In 2014, Seattle was the most feared team in football. They were coming off a 43-8 demolition of the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 48. They were young, violent, and perfectly constructed. At quarterback, they had a young and dynamic Russell Wilson. His dual-threat nature complemented the team's star running back Marshawn Lynch perfectly. Marshawn Lynch was the heartbeat of the offense. He was one of the most physical and electric running backs in the entire league.
He could go! He is gonna go! Touchdown Seahawks! Marshawn Lynch! Unbelievable!
But what elevated the Seahawks from great to historic was their defense. Under head coach Pete Carroll and general manager John Schneider, the Seahawks built one of the most intimidating defenses football has ever seen, the Legion of Boom. Anchored by their secondary, which consisted of Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, and Cam Chancellor, the Seahawks defense imposed fear into opposing players.
LOB! LOB! It's the LOB! Y'all was looking for us, y'all know where to find us!
As a team, the Seahawks were a powerhouse. They had the makings of a dynasty, and in the 2014 season, they proved that they weren't slowing down as they ended the year with a 12-4 record, secured the #1 seed in the NFC, and ultimately found themselves back in the Super Bowl. This time, against Tom Brady and the Patriots. The two most balanced and dominant teams in the NFL went at it in one of the most entertaining Super Bowls ever. For 4 quarters, both teams went back and forth. But as time was beginning to run out, the Seahawks offense put together a clutch drive and found themselves at the Patriots' 1-yard line with 20 seconds left in the game. With the unstoppable force in the backfield known as Marshawn Lynch, they were a run play away from becoming a dynasty. However, in one of the most unexpected decisions ever, the Seahawks called a pass play.
Tell me what it's like in the huddle.
Confusion. When that play was called, even the receivers, all they shit just was like, and they looked right at it. And I'm looking like.
2nd and goal. Baldwin sets up on the left. Play clock at 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal.
I cannot believe the call. You've got Marshawn Lynch in the backfield, a guy that's been borderline unstoppable in this part of the field. I can't believe the call.
I don't understand how you don't get the best back in the league. Not even the 1 yard line. We was on the 0.5 yard line. And we throw a slant.
Pete Carroll, he will never overcome this. This will be attached to his legacy for years and years to come.
This interception didn't just cost them a championship, it destroyed the Seahawks locker room.
It was probably the worst atmosphere I've ever been in.
Yeah. We looked at each other like, it was like every man's for themselves.
Yeah.
I don't trust you, I don't like you. What you did to my legacy is ruined.
I remember Sherm screaming at the top of his lungs. You took that from us, directly at Pete Carroll.
And like the bond that we had was literally, it was broken.
You know, you took a dream away, you took a moment away, you take a dynasty away. You know, you put us in the in the history books as the dumbest call in football history.
While the New England Patriots were crowned champions and went on to become a dynasty, the Seattle Seahawks spiraled, and the Legion of Boom slowly dissolved.
Nicole, the Seattle Seahawks have informed Richard Sherman that he is going to be released later today.
How would you characterize your career here in Seattle?
Incomplete.
Yeah, Zubin, Camp Chancellor suffered a neck injury last Thursday night against Arizona, and it has not looked good all week. Chancellor is likely going to be placed on injured reserve.
If that's the final image that you have of that guy in that uniform, that's unfortunate.
In the following years, the team remained competitive, in large part because Russell Wilson evolved into one of the NFL's most dangerous passers. But something fundamental changed. The defense no longer carried the same intimidation factor. Seattle still found success in the regular season, but playoff appearances consistently ended early. By 2021, the team had regressed significantly. They not only missed the playoffs completely, but they had their first losing season since before Russell Wilson was drafted. A 7-10 record let the Seahawks know that their Super Bowl window had quietly closed. So, after almost a decade of success, GM John Schneider and the Seahawks front office hit the reset button and decided to rebuild the team from the ground up. And they jump-started that process with a shocking trade.
Blockbuster. After weeks of negotiations in one of the largest trades in NFL history, the Seattle Seahawks and Denver Broncos have agreed to terms on a deal involving Super Bowl winning quarterback Russell Wilson.
I think it's going to be multiple first-round picks. I think it's going to be other picks. I think it's going to be other players. An enormous package of players and picks going back to Seattle.
Trading Russell Wilson was controversial, but it was also necessary. They received some premium draft picks from the Broncos that they would use to bolster their roster. In the 2022 NFL Draft, the Seahawks used the Broncos' 9th overall pick to select their franchise left tackle, Charles Cross. They also drafted running back Kenneth Walker and edge rusher Boye Mafe in the 2nd round, right tackle Abraham Lucas in the 3rd, defensive back Kobe Bryant in the 4th, and cornerback Tariq Woolen in the 5th round. In 2023, the Seahawks had yet another stellar draft. With the Broncos' 5th overall pick, they drafted a defensive cornerstone in cornerback Devon Witherspoon. With their 20th overall pick, they got the elite and dynamic receiver from Ohio State, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Then, in the 2nd round, they selected edge rusher Derek Hall and running back Zach Charbonnet. After 2 years of nailing the drafts, the Seahawks roster had become significantly better. But back-to-back 9-8 seasons made it clear that this team was lacking direction. And the man everybody looked at was head coach Pete Carroll.
I take no joy in saying what I'm about to say. I think this is the end of Pete Carroll. Michael Irvin, I'm looking at a guy that doesn't seem to have it in him, that has lost the pulse of his players.
When the 2024 offseason rolled around, John Schneider and the Seahawks front office made a decision that sent ripples throughout the NFL.
A stunner out of Seattle as head coach Pete Carroll is out after 14 seasons with the team.
But the Pete Carroll era in Seattle is over. He will not be back as the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks.
Crazy.
Whoa.
Said I want you to come back, come back. Come back, baby.
Just 3 weeks later, they found their new era of Seahawks football.
Breaking news, a new head coach in the NFL. Seahawks expected to hire Ravens defensive coordinator Mike Macdonald.
Seahawks are changing the direction of their franchise. The youth movement is on, and they are having Mike Macdonald lead that franchise.
They're going to play defense at the highest level, bringing back that Legion of Boom type of defense.
We're trying to build something special. I can guarantee you this. You will get everything out of myself and our coaching staff every day.
In what could easily be considered either a bold move or a huge mistake, the Seahawks fired their best head coach in franchise history and replaced them with a new young head coach. The message was clear. They wanted better. Mike Macdonald, one of the league's brightest defensive minds, was brought in to reshape the culture. However, Macdonald's first season in 2024 came with growing pains. The team, and in particular the defense, was shaky. They were talented, but they lacked the cohesion that would make them truly great. But that changed on October 23rd. When Seattle made a trade that would shake up the defense.
I wonder what we got breaking news.
Seahawks are sending linebacker Jerome Baker and a 4th-round draft pick to the Titans for linebacker Ernest Jones.
Ernest Jones' impact was immediate. From his first game in Seattle, the middle linebacker served as the field general and the leader of the defense. With his addition, Mike Macdonald's defense quickly transformed into one of the NFL's best in the second half of the season. The Seahawks went on a 6-2 run and ended 2024 with a 10-7 record. Although they missed the playoffs, they had a ton of momentum and a lot to build off of heading into 2025, where in the offseason, they made some bold moves.
Offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak is taking the OC position with the Seattle Seahawks.
This is not a drill. The Seattle Seahawks have agreed to terms with the Las Vegas Raiders on a blockbuster trade, sending their starting quarterback Geno Smith to Las Vegas.
The team releasing Tyler Lockett and also DK Metcalf requesting a trade.
The Seattle Seahawks select Gray Zabel.
The Seattle Seahawks select Nick Worry, DB, South Carolina.
Veterans were traded away, new faces arrived, and young talent was given the chance to step up. But by far the biggest change was the departure of Geno Smith and the introduction of Sam Darnold at the quarterback position. Many people from the outside doubted this move, but those inside the building knew something special was brewing in Seattle. And it didn't take long at all for them to show the NFL world that in 2025, they were coming for it all.
Pointing, throwing, ball is intercepted. Kendrick makes a sliding interception as Rattler throws it into coverage.
Murray throws, juggled, and intercepted.
Inside the 15, looks, throws, fires to the end zone. Ball is caught, touchdown! Seahawks dunking it over the bar is Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Seattle opened the season 7-2. They were dominating teams. But in week 11, the Rams handed them a humbling 21-19 loss, in which Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions. All the blame could have been put on their quarterback, but instead, this loss only made the Seahawks stronger. In the following weeks, they made statement wins, including a dramatic Week 16 comeback against the Rams. After falling behind 16 points in the fourth quarter, Rashid Shaheed shifted the momentum with a crucial punt return touchdown.
Holy catfish! Touchdown! Seahawks! Rashid Shaheed does it again!
And in overtime, Sam Darnold finished the job.
Darnold has time, looks inside, it's caught! Touchdown! The Seahawks win the game again on the last play of the game!
That win ultimately secured the Seahawks the #1 seed in the NFC and their spot in the divisional round of the playoffs, where the 49ers found out firsthand just how unstoppable this team had become.
With the seam, Shaheed breaks through, still going! Shaheed's gonna take it all the way!
Open the game with a 95-yard touchdown Seahawks!
However, the toughest obstacle Seattle faced all season came in the NFC Championship. For the third time, it was the Seahawks and the Rams, the two best teams in the NFC, now fighting for a trip to the Super Bowl. This game was going to require everyone on the Seahawks to do their part. And from the opening kickoff, they did just that. Jason Myers delivered every time his number was called, calmly drilling kicks that kept pressure on LA. Michael Dixon consistently flipped the field, forcing the Rams to work through long drives instead of having good field positioning. Sam Darnold and the offense were patient. They didn't turn the ball over. They moved methodically, taking what the defense gave them, striking at the right moments, and going blow for blow with the league's best offense. Defensively, Seattle made the Rams earn everything. For 3 quarters, they put the pressure on Matthew Stafford. They contested every completion, and every run was met with contact. But when the fourth quarter rolled around, they played lights out down the home stretch. And when it mattered most, they sealed the game with an impeccable performance.
Desperation for Stafford. 8 seconds left. Loading up near side Nakua. Is he out of bounds? That's going to do it. The Seahawks soar to Super Bowl 60.
And just like that, they were on to Santa Clara. Super Bowl 60. The Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. 11 years earlier, this matchup broke them. That goal line interception in Super Bowl 49 cast a shadow over the franchise for more than a decade, a constant reminder of what should have been. But to get back here, Seattle had to rebuild. The Legion of Boom faded, but the dark side rose from the shadows. Under Mike Macdonald and John Schneider, The Seahawks roster was reshaped, their culture was reset, and their identity was rediscovered. Everything they endured, every setback, every conflict, every difficult decision led them right back to the stage. A rematch, 11 years in the making.
George Alani's the running back. Big to him. Darnold to the end zone. Garner's got a touchdown.
May from the shotgun. Steps up in the pocket, gonna let one fly down the seam, and it's intercepted.
And they bring a pressure as well. And May get a knockdown as Witherspoon came on the pressure. And Uchenna Nwosu is going the distance for a touchdown.
3, 2, 1. The Seahawks, they're bringing it home again for the second time in less than 12 years. The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60. They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
There ain't no love like ours.